I don't really have any machines which are beautiful and perfect in appearance from the outside. However, the insides of them are beautiful. So my ugly Necchi sews beautifully in spite of the fact it doesn't look so great. That doesn't really worry me too much because, I use my machines, they're tools. It's like having a beautiful screwdriver or something. I mean, I'd love to get these things refurbished, but then I'd probably be too nervous to use it because I wouldn't want to scratch it. However, what I did want to do is give you an opportunity to hear how lovely and quiet this machine is when doing free motion embroidery. So I've dropped the feed dogs, set it to 0. It doesn't really matter, but there's no point in having your stitch length more than 0. I've got it in left needle position, and I've got it the zigzag set to 0. Now what you might notice is this ugly blob on the zigzag lever. Now the reason is that, the reason for this is I had to get creative about how to repair this particular Necchi Boo Nova zigzag lever. The problem with these zigzag levers is I'm pretty sure they're either the most fragile steel on earth, or to me they appear to be aluminium. And the problem is when the lady shipped me this, of course she didn't prevent it from rolling forward or backward, so parts broke on the front and back. Necchis are fairly notorious for getting these broken if you don't package them correctly. So with a bit of hot glue and some washers and some staples, believe it or not, I've reinforced this and now it holds fine, and it even works with the Wonder Wheel. I am keeping an eye out for a replacement, but in the meantime it works perfectly fine. So off we go. So I've got the original balance wheel on here, not the spoke balanced wheel, and surprisingly it works fine. So it's a slightly different sound than a 201, but it's basically as smooth and almost as quiet. But of course, so that's the same speed as when you hear my 201 and also my class 15 66 running at full tilt. So it's not a noisy machine at all. If anything, you're getting probably more noise out of the treadle. It's very smooth. The stitch balance isn't right because I've got blue thread on the bottom and yellow on the top, and I haven't bothered to monkey about with that. It's not quite perfect, but it does work perfectly. But I just love it. So this is straight, and I can get perfect control. So you can do free motion embroidery, the real classic type, or as well. So isn't that lovely and quiet? And that's one reason why I got this. I was getting moaned at by my other half about doing hours and hours and hours of free motion embroidery, and the noise was driving everybody nuts. So what I'll show you is loosen this a bit. If I increase the stitch width, set it up to maximum, pretty much the same noise. So that's 5 millimeters or half centimeter stitch width, and I've got a plastic quilting foot on here. It's quieter than a hopping foot, and I actually quite like the effect. In the plastic I can see very well what's going on. It keeps the fabric from bouncing, especially because I'm using a sprung hoop here rather than a classic hoop. So let me just move this down a bit, sorry. So you can see I'm using a sprung hook. So they don't hold the fabric as taut as a standard hoop, but hopefully that will prevent it from stretching as much. So I can just immediately increase this and reduce it, and I'm on the treadle, and it's treadling perfectly well. I've managed to work really hard on this machine to get it freed up, so that, because you couldn't treadle it, you couldn't even use the machine originally, but then it was way too tight. So I figured out what was wrong with it after a lot of work. And now, of course, it's absolutely beautiful and perfect. Might be ugly on the outside, but it sews beautifully. I do like the sound of it. Oops. Put that thread there. Just okay. Should just hear the class 15 oscillating hook yo-yoing back and forth. There's about. I have to do a test. I should get a laser sensor to see how fast I can actually get it. I'm guessing it's getting up near 1,000 stitches per inch if I really work, or per minute if I work really hard. Can't sort of keep that going forever, but even at full zigzag, the machine doesn't care at all. It'd be interesting to see how fast, but most of free motion embroidery is not up at that speed. You're more likely to do stuff like this, filling in sideways. So I love the sound of it, love the feel of it. It's perfectly smooth, fantastic machine. Very happy with it. So one of my next videos will be comparing this to the Singer 237, and I'm looking forward to doing that one because they're kind of largely the same design. It's just this has some extra creature features that some people will like. It's a high shank machine, so that's got some differences, but it's a lovely machine, super quiet. So let me just take out the bobbin. I think it'd be quite fun for you to hear what it sounds like without the thread. I did the same on my Singer 411G. So I'm taking the thread out. Oops. So these are the pop-out feed dog covers. So here we go. Let's drop that. So without bobbin noise, this is the machine. It's a lovely little click. And then the zigzag. If you want it even quieter, do you really hear what's going on? If you take out the, you can take out the hook as well. I won't do that, but it's really just a lovely, solid, tough, sweet little sound. So another machine to add to my collection and really enjoy sewing on. Now this is early 1950s machine. The paint's not great, but the mechanism is, of course, perfect. So I love it. And what also surprised me is that it worked fine with the Wonder Wheel. You can still treadle it. It's a bit stiffer, but hardly unpleasant. I haven't got the bars on, but I will do a demonstration on that. You can see it's a fun machine. Enjoying very much sewing on it. So if you ever get your chance to have one of these, I'm sure you'll enjoy it a lot. And just as a little surprise, I have ordered another one of these, and I'm going to hopefully bring it back to life soon. So I might be giving that one away if I'm in a good mood. Anyway, bye for now.